Alright, I think this is live. This is the obligatory. Is this working? Is this going? I need to tweet a little bit real quick to announce. Alright, cool. Let's just chat. If any of you guys pop up in the chat, that will give me an idea whether or not it's working or not. But in the meantime, I need to figure out how to keep talking non-stop because that's how live streams typically work. We are about to hit 1,500 subscribers on YouTube, which is really exciting, and it's really exciting to see how the channel is growing really, really quick lately. It's weird because it still feels exactly the same to me. It still feels like we're this tight-knit community, and we are, but it feels like nothing really has changed. But I forget sometimes that about a third of you guys hadn't seen my stuff yet, just like 2 months ago. So I figured it would be cool to hang out with you guys, meet you guys, connect with you guys a little bit better, and more than just in the comments or in the Instagram DMs back and forth. Let's see, let me check to make sure that this is working real quick, and then we can make this happen. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Turns out it was private. Let's try now. Alright, I think it's public now. Thank you, Gregory, for letting me know on Twitter. I am testing a lot of stuff out right now, so really appreciate it. I'm going to check on my phone real quick. Let's see. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. I feel like this happens every single live stream. It's like, hello? Hello? Is anyone out there? Alright, let's see. Let's see if this is working now. Yes, I think it is working right now. Let's see. I think there's going to be a little delay though. Okay, cool. Regardless. So yeah, right now I am, let's see, is the sound working? Is the video working? Wanted to test out right now, plugging in my real DSLR or mirrorless into the computer. One of the things that, yay, Clark, it's working. So awesome. So yeah, as I was saying in the private live stream, when it wasn't working, it's crazy to see how much this channel has been growing, and the chatter and the excitement and stuff in the past 2 months. It's been crazy, and it's weird because it feels so much like the channel is on a new direction, almost like a reset, almost like a refresh, but it's also totally the same. Like, I still love making YouTube videos. They still feel very personal. They still feel very authentic. If anything, the new direction with the channel, for the longest time I thought that niching down or becoming more specific or that sort of stuff with my channel would make me feel limited, or like I was losing, like I can't share 90% of my life and it feels so bad. But in a weird way, by focusing the channel down a lot more in this new direction, doing these breakdowns, talking more about communication and self-awareness, it's made me more excited about the content than I ever have been before, which is weird. Oh, hey Audrey, good to see you. So it's crazy. Just so, I mean, a lot of you guys found me from my YouTube channel Stop Growing video. What was really ironic was that channel, or that video, helped the channel grow quite a bit, and got quite a lot of excitement and attention, which was very, very ironic. I was talking to Leela from Europe, and it was she kept teasing me about, you seem pretty excited that that video is doing pretty well. Didn't you talk about in that video that it's not about the numbers? And I was like, you're right. It isn't about the numbers at all. It's not about the subscribers at all, but how exciting is it that suddenly overnight hundreds and hundreds of people are checking out what's up, and saying hi and connecting and all that sort of stuff. So that was really, really fun. But yeah, in the past 2 months, the channel has grown. Well, for March, so all of 2019, basically, it was at 1,100 subscribers. I was putting out a bunch of stuff that I really liked, and that felt really personal and felt really great. But it was also, like, in terms of growth or engagement, the engagement was good, but the growth was very not good. It was like +1 subscriber, -1 subscriber, +2 subscribers, -2 subscribers. And so it's really comforting, or almost like I'm on the right track, I guess, that with the new direction with the channel, immediately after I started the new direction of the channel, the channel started bloop, 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 growing a little bit, and getting more chatter and getting more attention. And again, it's this weird thing, because it's not really about the attention. What I think is that the videos are just more helpful and like clearly helpful now, and so that creates natural excitement about the content. It's very much, I still very much have the same idea about numbers and subscribers as I did before, which was, it doesn't really matter, or like the subscriber count especially doesn't really matter very much, but the in terms of seeing the videos spread a lot or be shared a lot, or yeah, it's that happened a lot more when the videos became a lot more helpful, which was interesting to me. I think it's weird, because I thought I was making things that were valuable or value, that whole thing before. But when I instead flip my mindset from, am I making something that I like and that has value, versus what's something that I can make that directly fills the need of you guys, or like what we as creatives struggle with together, or what are some needs that I specifically can address or help or get excited about helping on YouTube. That's when I feel the channel got a lot more exciting, got a lot more helpful, and got a lot more attention. Every single time I've decided to put in a little bit of extra. Before, I used to spend a lot of extra attention on making it as personal as possible, or on as the editing or the lighting or the coloring and all that sort of stuff as good as possible. But now the thing I spend the most extra attention on is probably how can I make it as helpful as possible, because I don't know, I really care. I want to help out. So yeah. For those of you that are new to the channel, it's weird. It's so weird that it's so weird that 30% of the people on the channel right now are people that are new. It doesn't feel like that. You guys are super awesome and leave such thoughtful comments, and it doesn't feel like anything really has changed, which is awesome. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I am a videographer. I did not go to school for that. I just loved making videos for a really, really long time, since I was really little. I've always had this weird obsession with editing and pacing and story structure and all that sort of stuff. But I dismissed it as not, I dismissed it as that couldn't possibly be my job, making videos. Um, Totally, I mean, hardcore. When I went to college, I didn't know what a videographer was. Um, and so I was pre-med. I was doing the science doctor stuff and just plugging away, um, doing it. I liked it. I admire science a lot. I think it's really fun. But with anything, the more you get in the weeds with something, um, like it's one thing to like something, but when you actually have to step up to the plate, there's a lot of hard stuff that comes up. So I could do the tests, I could do the midterms, I could do all that sort of stuff. Um, but the when it started getting into like the internships and the research and the MCAT and all that sort of stuff, I started to tap out. I started to get a little freaked out. I started to feel a little bit like, wait, I'm going through the motions, this feels a little bit fake. And then I was like, really freaked out because I was like, well, if it's not the doctor path, then what in the world am I supposed to do for work? Am I supposed to settle? Am I supposed to just do it? Am I supposed to just push through? And slowly but surely, as I went down the doctor path more, it started to get clear that I couldn't really do it. I couldn't stomach it. It felt really weird. And all the time, I just kept dreaming in the corner about how cool would it be if I got to make videos full time for my work. And so I had to talk with my parents, and at first there was a little bit of pushback, but later they basically said, as long as you can make some money, as long as you're working hard and making it happen, we support you. And so, which was really, really awesome. And so I went from there into hustling on the side to make the videography thing happen as hard as I could. I was doing a lot of free stuff. I was doing a lot of just talking to everyone I possibly could to try to get connections and try to get better experience. And I saved up all that money and got better equipment and all that sort of stuff. And I just finished up my last year at school. And it was in that last year of school that I started to feel, man, it's a little bit of a bummer that I can't make any personal videos anymore. All my time is spent making videos for other businesses and other, dance videos and client videos. How cool would it be if I got to make something that was more me, with videos, with the editing passions that I had a long time ago. And so I, at that point, was listening to a lot of Gary Vee, which is, I think, pretty typical in that, like, especially when you're like making that jump and following your dreams, that type of stuff. You listen to a lot of Gary Vee. And so he kept saying, document, document, document. And so I hopped onto, I was like, okay, I really think I can do this. Actually, no, I thought I couldn't do it. It was this idea in the back of my mind. But I was talking to Audrey. Audrey was at my school. It was like this very weird coincidence, Audrey Ember. And we would always talk about YouTube all the time. And I brought up that I was thinking about doing YouTube videos. And she was like, you should do it. You've got to do it. You have no excuses. Make it happen. I was like, but I'm introverted. I'm quiet. I don't know if I can make this happen. I don't know why anyone will watch me. And she just said, stop making excuses. That's stupid. You've got to do it. And so in March of 2018, I started the vlog. And it was very much a Casey Neistat inspired vlog. And it did not look like Casey Neistat's, like, in terms of quality, but it was very much like showing my day in the life and showing what I was up to, and it was really, really fun. Immediately when I started doing it, I realized, ooh, making personal videos is really, really fun, and documenting this is like a really natural form of self-expression for me. But, so I committed to doing it every single week. As I kept doing these videos where I was showing my life, I started to realize this is gonna run out. Like, there's an end to this runway. My life is not that interesting. And so I accidentally, I was starting to worry that the videos would get a little repetitive. And one time I saw this video, or I saw this Instagram post that said, do you tend to overwork or underwork? And that got me really, really thinking, because I was like, I am technically working really hard, right? I'm hustling for my videography dream. I'm doing YouTube, all this stuff. From the outside, it probably seems like I'm overworking, but deep down, I know, like, in terms of my natural tendencies, I tend to underwork, for sure. I tend to, I'm not really a workaholic at all. And so this question became really interesting to explore, of what's the definition of overworking and underworking. Hey Gabe, hey Raider, and yeah, what's up? Good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting the videos and sharing. It means really a ton. Right now I'm just chatting about my journey starting on YouTube, because a lot of you guys are new and I wanted to connect with you guys, hear some of your guys' story, and while we're waiting for more people to show up and all that sort of stuff, just discussing how this whole YouTube thing started. It's crazy to me how much YouTube has changed my life. And I don't say that in a clickbait title way. Like, literally, YouTube is such an important part of my life right now. And it's possibly my future career direction. Not YouTube, just YouTube, but it's really a meaningful part of my life. I think I could say that YouTube is more, like, might have changed my life just as much, if not more, as college, which is crazy. It's crazy to me that 2 years ago I hadn't started doing YouTube yet. Hey Adam, nice to meet you. Good to see you here. Thank you so much for taking the time. Anyway, so when I first started my vlog, basically, it was a vlog. It was Casey style. It was filming my day, showing, I honestly thought my life was really boring, and the only way that I was going to stand out was by maybe giving some videography business things that I was learning, or standing out with my editing, because I felt pretty confident about my editing. But as it went, I started realizing my life is sort of boring, it's sort of repetitive. I'm not living the crazy life that Casey Neistat does. And so I started to run out of things, and not run out, but I like to think in the future a lot, and so I started to realize that I was going to run out of things. And so it was a lifesaver when one day I saw this Instagram post and it said, do you tend to overwork or underwork? And that question really got me thinking. I really wanted to unpack that. I really wanted to explore that. So I made a video about that. And right when I made that video, there were a lot of people in my real life, in my real circles, starting to talk to me about that video. Starting to be like, oh, that made me think too. Discussions were started with that video. And that was the first sign to me that, my strength is not having a crazy life like Casey. It's not really my editing. It's that I like exploring questions and unpacking them. And there were multiple points in my YouTube journey where I kept trying a new thing with my YouTube videos, and the comments or the response from my friends in real life would end up teaching me something about myself that I didn't really see very clearly. So I didn't really realize how, like, I have this knack to be very encouraging, very, like, motivational. I didn't really see that side of me until I did YouTube. I didn't realize how I like analyzing things or breaking things down or exploring questions as much or having one-on-one conversations. I didn't see all this. Hey guys. I didn't realize that side of me until YouTube pointed that out. And that's crazy. It's YouTube has fundamentally taught me so much about how I see myself, um, and it's meant everything to me. The Diego message. Hello, I hope I can meet you one day. We're gonna be hanging out later today. That's so funny. Um, the there's this book I was reading about self-awareness, and it was talking about internal self-awareness and external self-awareness. Internal, I think, is where you knowing yourself, knowing how you think, how you view the world, very familiar with your own inner world. But external self-awareness is knowing how you are perceived by others, having a good idea, like having an accurate idea of how others perceive you. And I think YouTube really helped me in particular with the external self-awareness. There were so many blind spots I had about myself and my content, or what I had to bring to the table before YouTube. And that's the self-awareness is going to be a big part of my YouTube videos moving forward with communication, because I think it changes everything. I want a books Eric reads list. I barely read books at all. Unfortunately, I know it seems pretty weird because I like finding information and analyzing things and all that sort of stuff. But I get distracted a lot. I would say YouTube is probably my main source of bumping into new ideas and new content, which is cool. Hey Rasmus, cool to see you. I do what you do, but for truck drivers. I am so curious what that means. You break down truck drivers' driving styles? I don't know what that means, but that seems cool. If you had a choice between spending a year working as a foot soldier in a Mexican cartel and spending a night sleeping inside I don't know how to answer that question. I am so sorry, but you win the prize for I've never been asked that before in my entire life. So, going back to the story, right now there's a shift in my YouTube channel. It's focusing a lot more on the communication angle and the self-awareness angle, and doing a lot more breakdown videos and a lot more analysis videos. And that happened because I feel like I got it out of my system to make these super personal diary entry, self-expression videos. I really liked making those videos, but I feel like I got it out of my system, and I also realized it's not a very good way for me to stand out. It doesn't highlight a lot of my strengths very well. Or it highlights my strengths to a certain extent, but there's like a plateau. And there's a lot of people who do personal development, motivation stuff, and I wanted to try something different. You gotta go with the cartel, man. I mean, I think getting roasted alive inside the reactor seems like a pretty bad option, so yeah, I'm with you. That makes sense. Greetings from Pakistan. Saw your video on Matt Diavella. That is so awesome. Thank you so much. Would you say that events are worth it? I recently got invited to this event. Do you think it's worth it? It depends on what the event is. I recently, so this year was the first year that I did events for, I went to events for YouTube specifically. I went to VidCon and I went to Vid Summit. And I thought that I was completely unsure of what I was going to get out of it. Especially when I saw these ads that are like, this event will fundamentally change your channel. You'll be going from 1,000 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers. This is the best, 3 days of your entire life. And you look at the price tag and it's, $800 or something insane. I was very skeptical. Very, very, very skeptical. But I would say, it makes sense that they make the ads like that, but because it's really hard for people to understand how important the personal connections and networking that you make at these events are. Like, that is what the price tag is for. It's not for the best conference talk ever. It's not for the cool games. It's not for any of that sort of stuff. You're going there to meet other creators and grow together. Peak creators that you're going to be growing alongside. And especially when you are surrounded by other people with similar goals, you naturally get super inspired or get a lot more clarity about what you need to do. And so right after Vid Summit, the final piece of the puzzle that I was doing on with my channel locked into place, and I had a bunch of people to my left and to my right that were encouraging me on that direction. And so in that sense, I would say Vid Summit was 100% worth it. There were so many people I never would have met or talked to, but Vid Summit made that really natural for me to do it. And so in that sense, it was worth it. VidCon was a little bit different. VidCon, I would say the event itself was more just have fun and celebrate YouTube stuff. But at the same time, it was cool to meet other creators, just like with Vid Summit. Let's look at the comments again. I help truck drivers with the struggles of being on the road. That seems really, really interesting. I've been watching a lot of videos about Andrew Yang, I love I love Andrew Yang, and he talks about truck drivers a lot. And so I'm curious in checking out your channel later, because he cares a lot about the truck driver life. Greetings from Central Arkansas. Wow. Will you ever review or critique channels on the live streams? If so, put me on the list. I have considered that. I know that there's going to be a format for my videos coming up where I sort of do... It's sort of like breaking down other people's scripts or storytelling or their intros of their video, giving them some help with how they can make their videos more clear or stand out, or a couple blind spots they might have with their communication. And I'm going to try to package that into a series of videos it's going to be entertaining. I got the idea from Clark. I got the idea from Clark. That was a game changer. I think that'll be a really cool way to do some of these breakdowns, almost live stream style. But yeah, so I need to figure out how to set up my computer and all that sort of stuff to review or critique channels on live streams, but I'm open to it. I love talking about how we can all get our content to stand out more on this platform. When I first realized how much my content didn't stand out on YouTube, it freaks me out. And I think about this, as you can tell, like pretty intensely, and every single angle I tried to think of for the content. How can I stand out? Can I stand out like this? Can I stand out talking about editing? Can I stand out talking about motivation? And every single time I was like, oh my gosh, no, I can't. And it freaked me out. So if you saw my latest series of videos, it talks about rethinking how to stand out as a small YouTuber, because I had to go down this really scary journey of trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how we could make this work, even though we don't have the same advantages or crazy life or crazy expertise that the big players on this platform have. And so I love talking with other creators about how they can get creative about making remarkable content, or maybe a lot of times it's just tweaking their messaging, tweaking their content a little bit so that it's more clear to the viewer how they stand out. One thing that I talk about with a lot of creators is you are a standout personality already. You are a standout creator already. The problem is it takes me watching 4 to 6 of your videos in their entirety for me to figure out what's cool about you. And so if you can find a way to communicate why you're cool, why you stand out faster, so that the people who only watch one video or the first 2 minutes of your video can see how you stand out, that's a lot better. And that's what I like. That's the type of creative communication I like thinking about. So, let's see. Teched Out, I would highly recommend checking out one of these conferences where you get to meet other creators. Totally worth it. I was skeptical that it would be worth it. A lot of times also they have volunteer opportunities. So for Vid Summit, I volunteered. So I got to go for free. But next year I think I'm going to pay, and it does have a heavy price tag, but honestly, it was so worth it. How do you balance relationships? I mean, all sorts of stuff. You have to make sacrifices for YouTube. I mean, everyone has different goals. Everyone has different balance that works for them. They know what matters to them. If you want something to happen, if things are your top priorities, you're going to make it work. And you're not going, it might be hard physically for you to do it, but you won't feel as burned out doing it because you know why you're doing it and you know that it's worth doing. So, I mean, hopefully your relationship is a high priority. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, I can't give advice in terms of your relationship, but I've seen instances in my own life where I've had to make tough choices between hanging out with friends or hanging out with someone I really care about, hanging out with family, hanging out with all sorts of stuff, or doing YouTube. And sometimes I choose family, sometimes I choose doing the YouTube video. But because I'm clear on what my priorities are and able to know the boundaries that I need, it becomes a lot easier to choose. For me, I know that like after a certain point of time in not doing YouTube videos, I start to feel bad. So it's, I prioritize it accordingly. But at the same time, like if I don't hang out with my family or my friends or that sort of stuff, that causes problems. All right, I need to catch up. Clark, you are so awesome. I would love to hop on a call with you sometime really, really soon. Thanks so much, Syed. Is it Saeed or Syed? I would love to know that. Hey, Robo Hobo Productions. That's how I'm going to decide to say your name. But it's great to see you right now, live. I like to say you have such a nice way of talking. One of my favorite people to watch on YouTube right now. Love your ideas and thoughts, but also your voice is dope and really conveys your videos well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's really cool to meet you a little bit better here on this live stream. The comments really don't do it justice, and I really care about hearing what's up with your guys' lives. It's funny, on my YouTube videos, one big problem I'm struggling, not problem, but one thing I'm still finding the balance of is figuring out how to talk like YouTube performing, but also my natural speaking style. But what is your natural speaking style? You know, when I'm with my parents, when I'm super relaxed, I'm mumbling all the time. I don't project, I don't do any of that sort of stuff. But, so I don't want to do that, even though that's natural. And right now this seems pretty natural, but it's natural for a live stream. On YouTube, it makes more sense to project, to have that energy, to be really to the point. And so I appreciate you sticking with me on the whole spectrum of communication. I really appreciate it. All right, Rasmus, what are your thoughts on self-esteem? How did you become so sure about your YouTube shift so soon? Not that you shouldn't, I just think it is bold, and I'm curious about your thoughts. I'm not so I would love a little bit more clarification on how the YouTube shift and self-esteem are tied together, or are they separate? I'll wait for that for a second, and then I will chat because I have lots of thoughts on that. Regarding this about friends, about a month ago I had a chance to finally meet some friends I haven't seen in a long time, but I had to work on video. That one performed much better than my usuals. That's really interesting. Yeah, see, on my channel, one major thing with my videos is I don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing things as black and white. I like finding the nuance there. And everyone for themselves has to decide what the right balance is for them. And that depends on your goals. That depends on, what types of things you say. So for instance, with my YouTube intro video, where I break down YouTube intros, it frustrates me when people say, this is your formula, like have the call to action here, have your call to value prop here, make sure it's in the first 5 seconds of your video, tell them to like and subscribe, and right after your intro or at the end of your video, all that sort of stuff. They make it such a formula, and it drives me a little bit crazy, or I don't know, I'm sort of a rebel in that sense. So I was like, there's got to be more to it than that, because there's Casey Neistat, there's Matt Diavella, who are not doing those things, and so there's got to be more to it than that. And so that video, breaking down YouTube intros, the how long does it take Matt Diavella to get to the point video, that came from a really genuine place, and I wanted to explore that, and I wanted to unpack that, and it was really fun to see how there is nuance there, right? And I love talking about that in my videos, not having a black and white answer, but instead exploring a topic and getting a deeper understanding of it so that we can apply it to our content, or like find the right fit for us. Let's look at the comments. It's Saeed. It's my pen name. The real name is Ideal. Clients call me. Oh my gosh, that is confusing, just like Clark said, but that's awesome. I'm working on a video that had many parts, and your recent video made me realize how to package it much better. Thank you for the help. Of course, I'm so glad. I was a little worried that video wouldn't be helpful. Or it would be hard to understand since you weren't the one editing that video for hours and hours and hours. But I think that some of those strategies in terms of how to rethink story or break things apart or clean up some of the flow or momentum of the video, I think it can be applicable with all sorts of stuff, even in our real life speech. Okay, Rasmus. Well, 2 questions, I think. I was wondering if you were nervous about losing followers or concerned about how your audience would respond to a shift in content. So, that's really interesting. No, I wasn't that nervous, partially because the viewers were already declining, and I genuinely don't think that was because of the content. I think it was just because people were getting busy, and I was putting out content that it wasn't clear what the value to them was. It was very much like, I like Eric, I visit Eric every once in a while, I don't watch every single one of his videos, but I know that when I click one of his videos, they make me think about stuff, and they make me think about things differently. That's awesome. He's on the shelf. I'll check him out when I want to. And so over a period of a year and a half of that, people slowly started visiting the shelf less often, and so the videos sort of kept declining a lot in views. And in terms of, the videos shifted to be way more helpful for you guys, so I would be surprised if suddenly I got a huge backlash and 80% of the people disappeared if the videos became more helpful or interesting or stand out, and so I wasn't really worried on that front. I also, like, this is all very, I don't know, I just have like a very grateful attitude about YouTube and the numbers and who I've met through it, so it didn't really feel like I could lose anything, right? I have these real life friendships and connections that I've made, like you, Rasmus, and so even if the viewers declined, I had to think about it like, hey, I wasn't even doing YouTube a year and a half ago. I'm totally fine starting from scratch again, and these friendships are real, and the real ones are gonna stick by me or support me as a person regardless of how my content changes, even if they don't watch my videos. That's fine. I have goals in terms of who I want to reach, how I want to reach people, how I want to help people, and so I was fine making that pivot. I actually, a lot of the family and friends and college friends and sort of stuff, the content now doesn't appeal to them very much. Like a lot of them don't know who Matt D'Avella is, or Mr. Beast, or Casey, or any of that sort of stuff. So it doesn't fit them. But at the end of the day, like that just means that my way of helping, or the way that I'm passionate about helping people right now, doing these communication breakdown videos, it's just not the right fit for them. And that's totally fine, because that's the sphere of people, that's not the sphere of people I'm trying to reach, right? I have an idea of, I want to be able to reach thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So, yeah, I was fine making some sacrifices or changing, because I knew I was following what I needed to do. Let's look at the comments. Sorry, I talked a little bit long. Glad I am not monetized yet. I think I probably need I estimated I need probably about 60,000 views to approach that 4,000 hour mark, and I'm not there yet. But I have a good feeling that, especially with the direction of this content right now, one's going to sort of blow up and push me way closer to that goal. And then, but yeah, I mean, slow and steady. I mean, AdSense is not a good way to make money at all, so I'm not that worried about that. Thank you guys so much. By the way, it really helps out the videos if you like them. And the live streams are tricky because you often forget to like them, because you have to like click around and find the like button, but it really helps the videos if you can find the like button and hit it, especially on the replay. So yeah, really appreciate that if you can do that right now. What was the second question from Rasmus? I'm really curious. One could say that you shifted from being a personal individual to sort of an expert role, or how do you see that shift yourself? That's really interesting. I'm trying to keep that I'm learning alongside you thing, while also sharing insights that I'm seeing, and I'm pretty thorough in researching or breaking things down. I'm not just like talking off the top of my mind about Matt D'Avella or some of the other creators' videos that are planned right now. I do research. So because of the depth of the research, I end up being an expert, but I also love that YouTube lets us be on the same level. I think one of the most special things about YouTube is when you can watch a creator and say, they are doing something amazing, but I could do that too. You know, I could talk in my bedroom about something like that. I am really excited about tech like that. I am really excited about being generous like Mr. Beast. I'm really excited about all that sort of stuff, and seeing what people can do even when they don't have the fancy cameras or the editing, all that sort of stuff. It's really, really awesome. In terms of a major shift with my channel, though, I think the major shift was, instead of it being, I think everyone has a blend of wanting to make content that's more personal expression, the artist side of them, and content that is helpful or growth oriented, and everyone has their own cocktail of that. And so I would say that before, my mixture of that was probably 65-70% personal expression and 30% I want to help you, I want to motivate you, I want to grow and connect with you in that way. But as I saw that sort of peter off, and as I kept doing the personal expression stuff, and I was like, honestly, I don't really have much, I'm not as passionate about having these be public diary entries. I'm passionate about, I want to help people, and I think I have the skills to help people. I just don't quite know how I can help people. And so once I dug deep on that angle, and once I talked to Roberto and he made me realize, if your top priority is really to help people, you need to reach out to your audience. You have to help them find you. That's when it became really clear that I needed to shift a lot of stuff around. And so now my focus is probably like 80% making as helpful, valuable content as humanly possible, and 20% personal expression, right? I still want to be authentic. I'm not going to be like super robotic or staged or super scripted. I still want to have that personal connection. I still want to be able to chuckle and laugh on camera or have bloopers and stuff like that. but at the same time, I'm not gonna just do whatever video topic I feel like. I'm going to try to make them be about communication, because that's what I really care about right now. Thank you guys so much for all your comments. I'm sorry I'm not seeing all of them or reading them on time. I talk way too long. Really good point. It's really transcending how you are in a really good place, in the right place with your YouTube. Thank you. I am in a really great place with my YouTube right now. I'm genuinely loving the content. I'm working way harder on my YouTube videos than ever before. I mean, every single time I'm staying up probably all night working on them. But it's weird because I have this clarity about what I want to do and how I want to do it, and it's a little building block in the right direction, or in building my dreams, or being able to help people in the ways that I really care about. The work doesn't feel as heavy. I don't know how to say that very well, but that sort of thing. Found it helpful. If you keep hustling and don't look at the goals, you grow. It took me 3 years to reach where I am at right now. Oh, and liked already. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. No, totally. I am not focused on the goals, like in terms of I'm gonna beat myself up if I don't, or feel bad about myself if I don't get the goals. But I do have. It was important for me to realize I want to grow, and in order to grow, I need to be honest with myself. Like, is my channel right now in a good position to grow? And the more I looked into that, the more I realized it wasn't. And so I really had to dig deep to figure out how I could stand out and make remarkable content. And I think that was a transformational pivot in my content. And I really hope that if you guys are in a spot where you have made YouTube videos for a while and you're sort of plateauing, you're sort of getting stuck, you're starting to get a little defeated or motivated, I mean, people watching your content, people connecting with your content, that really does matter. The views and numbers don't matter in terms of like how good of a person you are or how good you should feel about yourself. But if you're trying to reach people, if you're trying to help people, reaching and helping 10 people is, if you know how to reach and help 10 people, you should position yourself to do that. If you know how to reach and help 100 people, you should position yourself to reach and help as many people as possible, without losing your sanity. Hey Andrew, great to see you here. I love your stuff. I think your thumbnails are really awesome, especially considering how recently you started. I think your attention to thumbnails is so amazing. All things to all people, viewers or subscribers, is a near impossibility, but creating according to your values is a surefire way to at least satisfy yourself. That's a good place to create from. I 100% agree. Ryan, your comments are like, the way you write them are so quotable, or so just, they're so interesting. Every time I read your comments, I think that they're so interesting, and always make me think. And you have, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but like, it sort of has this like sensei, philosopher thing that I really like. Keijo, do you have any job besides YouTube? Yes, I do have a job besides YouTube. I make zero money. I have not made any money at all from YouTube yet. My work is as a freelance videographer. So I do videography, I do photography, I do editing, all that sorts of stuff. A lot of video stuff. Every week I'm making videos nonstop. And that's how I pay the bills, and I really like that job. Although 20 years from now, I'm not sure if I will. 20 years from now, I'm not sure if I will be doing videography. I have a feeling. And one of the reasons why this pivot in my channel is coming is that I have a feeling that the next big step in terms of where I want to be, or the direction that I want to point myself, YouTube is actually the best next step. That's not a good way of explaining it. The good way of explaining it is, in 20 years, I don't want to be working on a Super Bowl commercial because of all the ways that I've risked and sacrificed and worked super hard in terms of videography. I don't want to be working on a cool music video. I want to be able to help and influence people more directly in a more personal way at scale. So whether that's giving a TED Talk or writing or having an online presence, platform, influence, I think that that was a realization for me of like, hey, I like videography now, but 5 years from now, 7 years from now, will I regret not investing in the YouTube direction? And I really think that I will. So I'm investing really hard with my YouTube, and I'm loving it. It's really, really fun. Doing free seminars is my thing, and it really helped a lot of people in Pakistan start their own business and generate profits. The feels of seeing that is priceless. 100% agree. It's really hard feeling to describe. When you see people genuinely excited and changed by your work, it's addicting, or it's satisfying. It's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. Yeah, no, I love that. I've been doing a video about one of my biggest insecurities. It's going really well, but recently I started to think about it being too narcissistic. I mean, where is the line? That is such a good question. I think if you make the video from a place of, this is an area where I'm struggling, but here's things that I'm learning from it, and these are some takeaways that are overall positive and helpful just in general. Like if you have a negative takeaway, if you're like, I'm hurt or damaged in this way, that might not be as helpful, or that might come off as being narcissistic, or you're putting all the attention on yourself. But I've had a lot of videos on my channel where I've been vulnerable about things that I've been scared about or insecure about, but the takeaway at the end was learning how to rewrite those insecurities and learning how to reframe those insecurities. And so the overall takeaway at the end of the video was positive, was helpful. And so I think when you have that, when that's the type of ending message that you're putting out into the world, that you shouldn't feel too bad about it being narcissistic. At the same time, or if you haven't figured it out, honestly, it's good to also be honest with that. You could just say, you know, this is something I'm struggling with. I'm trying to deal with it in these ways. Here's where I'm at. I hope that could help you guys see that you're not alone in that. I think that that's also super valuable. I've had tons of videos that, I mean, there was one where I was crying. There was one where I was scared about being boring, where I was scared about having pauses in my videos. I did a video about trust issues. I did a video about oversharing. I did all this sort of stuff. So if you guys should, that was a great question. I'm so glad that you asked that. I think Ryan, on one of his videos, or on one of my videos, he commented, if your priority is catharsis for yourself, like if you're just trying to get it out off your chest and put it out there, then maybe keep a check on that, because if it's just coming from, I want to let this out there, then you have there's an opportunity for you to just be dumping a problem out there. But if your priority is catharsis for everyone, of saying, I'm going to put this out in the open, I'm going to be vulnerable in this way, let's all, that sort of thing, then it's good. And I think that that's the line, figuring out how much of it is catharsis just for you versus catharsis for everyone. When you're very clear about what you're going to do, and every plan laid out, doing work feels possible. Yes, 100%. I'm sorry, I'm so behind on these things. I do have a PayPal set up. You can message me on you can message me on my Instagram DMs if you want to send over a little clap. Thank you guys so much for all your guys' support. I really appreciate it. I lately noticed that it's very when you shoot up front. Do you guys also recommend having at least 5 videos up front before starting YouTube? I don't think that matters that much. Batch recording, yes, 100%. Hey Gina, hey Leela. It's so great to see you guys. I have been practicing not batch recording, but I'm getting more comfortable. So this is something that's awesome, but I can't explain this in a YouTube video very well yet, but it would work to talk about here. My new approach with RoboHobo Productions, that is amazing. You are so awesome. Send me a message. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot. Thank you so much. You would definitely be the first donation. I've made literally $0 from YouTube so far. Think less, do more with the seminar. Yes, 100%. That, I mean, there. Every single great thing in my life right now came before it came a lot of fear, a lot of overthinking it, and so you have to train yourself to make those jumps to put yourself out. I mean, so before this live stream, I was freaked out about doing this because for a lot of reasons. So I talked to Leela. She encouraged me to do it, and that really, really helped out. So I really like this idea of when we're making stuff, or when basically it's like Matt Davila says in his the 2-day rule video, where it's like you need to build up your muscles in terms of facing that resistance you feel, facing that fear you feel, and just pushing through and doing it. You know, within reason. Don't be crazy, but the when you jump out of bed, when you hop in the cold shower, when you get up earlier, when you are freaked out about your video but you upload it anyway, when you are like, oh man, I'm so tired but I need to put in the extra 2 hours here to make this something I really care about, facing that resistance and making it happen is really, really good, because that negative resistance can totally win, where you just dial things in, you settle a lot, you get really comfortable. And so I'm always trying to spar with that and try to get that out of there. There's a zooming sound. It wasn't here during the test stream. What does a zooming sound mean? Do you mean like a... It might be my fan from my laptop dying right now. Freaking out. Yeah, everyone thank Leela. She is amazing. She, I got to meet her for the first time at Vid Summit. So thank you, Rasmus. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. I watched your video yesterday. It's a buzzing sound. Ooh, I don't like that. Let's see. Is it better now? Let me know. It's static from your mic. Well, let me know. I tried to do it, but we can't. I'll fix it for the next one. Thank you guys so much for the support. I have to hop off soon because I'm hanging out with my friend Diego. We're gonna make videos together. It's sort of like a YouTuber vacation. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the support, and I am really excited about this channel lately. And going forward, this is just the start. I have a list of so many ideas that I'm behind the scenes researching and breaking down and developing, and I want to be able to make as much content as possible and as helpful as content for you guys. And I know that the views and subscribers will eventually come, especially with the plan in its current state. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So I really appreciate your support. Literally, it would not be possible if you guys weren't sharing the videos. And I know you guys are sharing the videos. I've gotten messages and screenshots of you guys taking notes from the videos and sharing the videos in different communities. That jump from whatever, 1,100 subscribers to 1,500 subscribers in the last six or so weeks, that's significant. And then the reason I know that's significant is because I made content on this channel that I liked, that I cared about for 9 months, and the channel did not grow. So the fact that this growth is happening is really, really exciting, and it makes me so happy as this measure of how helpful the content is for you guys. And a lot of that didn't come just from the YouTube channel video, my YouTube channel stopped growing video. A couple hundreds of those have come afterwards, so really appreciate that. The more meaningful your message, the more resistance you will feel. That's probably true. I'm ready to step up to the plate, man. I'm ready to step up to the plate. Thank you, Gina. Really appreciate it. Ethan, thank you. You are awesome. The strip Vlogger, I've seen your comments. You are so awesome. Says the man who says he doesn't care about the number of subs. Leela always teases me about that. I found you on my homepage. That is really, really interesting. If any of you guys end up seeing that, let me know, because I'm really curious about that. All right, I think I'm going to be wrapping this up soon, because I've got to hang out and pack and do all sorts of stuff, eat. But if you guys have any last questions, I'll leave it on for like a minute or so. I'm totally down to answer anything you've got. But thank you guys for making this so fun. Thank Leela for encouraging me to do it. And yeah, excited to see what is next. It's weird. It's not just hype. There's just like, so with the Matt Diavella video, right? With that one, I was trying to figure out, how is he so compelling? How is he sharing advice in this sort of long form way where it's actually getting my attention, getting stuck in my head? That was the genuine question there. With the how long does it take Matt Diavella to get to the point video, I genuinely was curious, should I have a formula with my YouTube intros, or what's going on with Matt Diavella, what's going on with Casey, what's going on with MKBHD, where they can talk a lot longer in the beginnings of their videos and it works, where it makes sense. And so each of the videos coming up in the future, yes, it does reference or focus on a specific creator, but it's coming from a place where I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely have a question that I want to explore, that we can all learn from. And so that makes me so happy. This idea of I get to discover, I get to learn, I get to highlight some of my strengths and things that I'm excited about, but also package it in a way that's exciting and clearly helpful for you guys. Blending those two things. Yeah. Keep me working, guys. I'm so excited to break down these videos. And yeah. Rasmus, is the lives thing gonna be a regular thing? You guys let me know in the comments down below. If you liked it, I'll make it happen more often. I remember a day when I watched like 10 of your videos in a row. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I have to go soon, but your guys' responses are awesome. So shoot me a thank you guys so much for watching so much of this live stream, for hanging out. I would love to get to know you guys more. You guys can reach me most directly on my Instagram DMs at EricWen, W-E-N vlogs, or in the YouTube comments. I see all of them. I respond to all of them. I really care about this community and helping you guys. So if you guys have any tips, or not tips, if you guys have any ideas for creators you want me to break down, or questions you have about storytelling, I would love to look into them more. One person on my last video, I think, talked about charisma on command and why charisma on command rubbed them the wrong way, or why they didn't really connect personally with their content. And that's one of those interesting that's one of those interesting type of questions that I love exploring. You know, a lot of people have compared my channel recently to Charisma on Command because I'm breaking down communication, but why does my channel feel so different from Charisma on Command if we're both talking about advice on communication? That might be a YouTube video in the future. Leela, you are so awesome. Thanks, Joe. Great to see you guys. Great to hang out. I'll see you guys soon. Hit that like button if you haven't yet already. It helps the algorithm out. And thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to hearing from you guys again soon. Peace. Bye. End my live stream. Yes.